Good morning, everybody. It's Patrick with Gills Motorworks. This is going to be hopefully the final and part 4 of getting it back up and running. 12 valve. I've done the killer dowel pin. I've got the front cover back on. And yeah, I told you guys I wasn't. I already kind of just stuck the water pump on last night before I left. I got to torque that down. Here's a thing that I've ran into now that I'm a lot more concerned about and didn't really think a lot about. And I found an article on the harmonic dampener pulleys. If you're having problems with your diesel, like with RPM gauges or maybe not running correctly, this can have a lot to do with it. So you see this rubber right here, this shouldn't be like this. And I'm missing quite a bit of rubber out the back. Here's the problem. On a 96 12 valve, the Harmonic Balancer, you can't find these right now. Mine's there's either a 1 slot or you have 2 slots for the timing. I can't find it. It does run with this, but there should not be rubber sticking out. That's what I've read. So this is a really worn Harmonic Balancer. So I am going to locate one as fast as I can, but I do need my truck running, so I am going to have to stick this back on for now. And give it my best shot, as far as keeping it going down the road for now. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to be doing any too crazy pulls or anything. I mean, this is just real squishy rubber. I'm really not happy about this part, a little worried. But for now, I'm going to put the Harmonic Balancer back on and torque it down. I'm going to torque the water pump. I got a new crank sensor I'm going to put back on. We'll get the fan clutch back on. I am just going to kind of jump over here and do the thermostat today. I'll videotape all that. So for now, yeah, I'm just kind of perturbed by this. I mean, Dorman makes one. They're not in stock anywhere. So if you're out at a pick and pull and you find a good, I'd start collecting these because that's crazy. So, all right, on to the next thing. So I guess I found one on Rock Auto. They don't really give you much information. It looks just like the one I pulled off. It was only 96 bucks, but I next dated it. So this is the part number. Sorry, this is the part. Daco makes one apparently. It's the only one I could find anywhere. So now I just gotta hope it's the right one. But it's next date. It should be here by Friday, and we'll see what happens. So anyways, back to putting the truck back together. Alright, so I'm going to tighten these bolts down for the crankshaft. Should be 92 foot-pounds is what I found. So here we go. I'm going to have somebody hold the motor and fight against me while I torque these down. Alright, so crankshaft's back on. I got a new crank sensor in, but I don't have it mic'd yet. So there's two things. So see, this is where I had it before, kind of right here. It was already a little hard to get in, but see now I can, feels good. I left the bolts just a little loose. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna torque those down and I'm gonna recheck. But if the crank sensor gets too close to that pulley, it will wipe the crank sensor out. So you need to be very sure, for one, you got the right gauge going on, and two, you don't want that touching the crank, and you also don't want it too far away or lose signal. So 0.25 is kind of where it was when I took it off, and it was running good. So that's where I'm putting it back to. And I'm going to reroute the wires, run that. I'm going to torque those bolts down right now. And I'm going to start getting on the thermostat. I still need to torque the water pump and getting the belt and the radiator back in, and really after that it's just a matter of getting her back up and fired. I got new cooling hoses and might be driving her home. I don't know, we'll see. All right, so a couple things. I got the crank sensor in and correct how I like it, just still where I can get that in there, and it's a little not tight, but level with the crank, and then I snugged it up. And then you run this harness. This is the new one. I did decide to go with a new crank sensor because I did not like the old one, and I'm still probably going to take this off and wrap this and clean this up too. That's just a mess. That sensor, I just still don't God, that was a pain in the dick to get on there. I don't know if that's all the way on or not. I mean, it won't push any further, but I had to like really push that on there. So that's done. And then I did have to put the idler pulley system back on to bolt this back on, because it's got like a little notch here, almost like it's built for it. So that's what I went with, and it seems to be out of the way for now. We'll see when I go to put the belt on. I'm going to put this pulley on next. I really do want to just get to the thermostat real fast, but probably put this pulley on next, get the belt back on, and that part's done, other than getting the fan clutch and all that done. So all right, on to the next thing. Okay, so I got the pulley back on. It just like the case bolts, everything is like 18 foot-pounds. I mean, water pump bolts, 18 foot-pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, all 18 foot-pounds. And then when we get into here onto the pulley, I cannot find anything for a fan pulley bolt. These are a smaller bolt. I don't really want to try 18 foot-pounds. I'd rather put like 10 and a little bit of Loctite on them maybe. So I'm just going to do about 10 on these. And then for the fan clutch itself, when you're putting it on, you're going to do about 42 foot-pounds, and you're going to do counterclockwise to spin it back on. And after that, I think I'm going to wait to put the fan clutch on, and I'm just going to go for the thermostat now. So all right, there you go. So I'm going for the thermostat housing. The first thing I did is I pulled that 10mm bolt, and then I pulled this 13 ground wire bolt that sits underneath the thermostat housing right there. And I wanted to clean that all off anyways. I forgot about that, but I remember now. And I'm just gonna pull off these two 10s, slide this back. This alternator slid back pretty well. I just left everything attached. Just don't touch anything back there, and you won't shock yourself. So I'm gonna loosen this, get this back, see if that'll pop off. I can get the thermostat out real quick and go from there. All right. Okay, so thermostat is out. Once you get the 3 bolts that come out, there is going to be this, it's like an engine pulling plate that's going to come out with it. So be prepared for that. And then when you get your thermostat out, you're going to have, there's 2 gaskets. Don't be fooled. There's one that sits back here. That is going to be the smaller gasket. I believe they call it the inner gasket. And then you're going to have the outer gasket. And this is going to be the part that goes back up against the block, because that's got to seal up against the block and fit through that plate. This was my thermostat. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's probably been in there for a while. I mean, I was just pushing on this, and it's going down. I mean, so, but time for a new one. You know, I just, every time I buy a new vehicle, that's my thing. I start just changing out stuff because I don't know where it's at or where it's been. This definitely looks like it's been there for a while, and looks like somebody might have drilled that out even. Sometimes people drill that out so no air gets in, and it just kind of heats up faster. So, all right, there we go. All right, so when you're doing this with the thermostat, and you're putting it back together, you're gonna have that plate, you're gonna have this gasket, your thermostat, and another O-ring in there. So you got to order both O-rings. Your thermostat is going to sit in there like this. You want your O-ring in there like this, and then depending how you do it, and I'll show you guys better when we get that. But anyways, that is what I was just trying to show you. I mean, I have that all wrong. Anyways, so I will show you guys. I'm going to put that back on and show you how that goes. Alright, so the thermostat's back in. I just got to put the 1 bolt in. Literally, like every 10 bolt on this thing, other than a couple 13s, is like 18 foot-pounds. Everything is like 18 foot-pounds. It's just hilarious. So anyways, I'm gonna get my hoses on, at least onto the block, get that ready, and then I'm gonna get my belt on. I painted the fans, so I'm just letting those dry for a minute, and then I have a new fan clutch, and I want to get this thing running before I leave today. So here we go. All right, so I just kind of had to get moving here. So there's the fan I painted. Fan clutch is on. And when you go to get that on, you're just gonna go counterclockwise. It says 45 foot-pounds. I mean, I just pushed on it, got the 45 on there. New belt is on. When I did run my crank sensor wire down there, which I'm gonna double check that, I did have to tuck it down a little bit more. I mean, man, that is creepy close to the belt, but it's down there. I don't think it's gonna get hurt for now. It's kind of tucked in there. But we're gonna fill her up with water and see what leaks first. No, I'm just kidding. New upper hose. I couldn't get the lower hose. The one I got for it wasn't molded right, so the old one wasn't too bad, so I put it back on there. That's it, really. New radiators in. I mean, God, the thing I love about these trucks is just everything is like in and out, and then you're done. Of course, I ran my power wire back in there, and we're gonna fill it up with water, and I'll show you it running. All right, everyone. He's bleeding. He's running. Running good. Couple things though. I might again, see, like I said, I might have not got that right because my RPM gauge is bouncing around, so I might need to be closer. Could be the sensor, but that's all coming from the crank sensor. Everything else is working good. I'm just letting the thermostat open. Yeah, it's hot. So, yeah, we'll just see what happens next. Just letting her warm up with the thermostat open and go from there. So I'm still letting it warm up, but I got a Hertz shifter in here, and thought that was pretty cool. I'll just add that in there. Hertz is life. Cool. Well, she's warming up. I'm just getting the trying to get the thermostat to open, and I think it opened because we got right up to 190 and she just dropped. So, yep, and the coolant went down. Cool. Time to drive her. So, anyways, a little bit of a mistake I made is I didn't space the crankshaft sensor right, and I used a metal shim. You're supposed to use brass, and it's supposed to be like 0.49 to 0.51. So the only thing I can think to do is I found somebody to send me the brass ones, is I just added them all up to be 0.50. You can go up to 0.0051. So I just added them and I kind of stuck them together. That's about all I can come up with. I'm going to try it this way, trying to get it done before the end of the day to see if I didn't ruin the sensor, because yeah, already my alternator's acting up, starting weird, and tachometer's all over the place. So let me see what I can do. Damn it. So we did about 0.50 or 0.0050. Started back up, and now it's a lot better. So I think I fixed it. We will have to see. I mean, my charging voltage is still a little don't like that, but we'll just see what happens. All right, so we're in her girl now. We're driving. She's doing really good. I fixed the crank sensor, and we're back down the road. So, yeah, can't ask for much more. AC blows cold, goes down the road pretty good. So that was all in all a successful journey. The only thing I really don't like is the charging voltage right now. It's at about a little under 14, so probably going to be checking that out some more down the road. But yeah, all in all successful. Stay tuned for more stuff. There's always more stuff to do on this thing. So thank you for watching and listening. Cool.